I speak Japanese and English too. I'm not quite competent in either. How about you?
Tomi's World.
Minasan konnichiwa. Watashi no channel e yokoso. Kyo wa nihongo no benkyou ni tsuite hanashimasu. Saisho ni jiko shoukai shimasu. Watashi no namae wa Tomi desu. Tomi to yon kudasai. 22 歳です。私は食べる、寝る、YouTube を見るのが好きです。どうぞよろしくお願いします。Hey guys, and welcome back to Tomi's World. You already know it's your girl Tomi, and I am back with another video. So in today's video, I want to tell you guys why I chose not to study Japanese, and also how I am learning Japanese without a textbook and without even studying Japanese. Yeah, it's kind of strange. Actually, not really when you think about it, because all these tips are gonna be so simple, but I thought I should let you guys know because your girl Nihongo Jozu desu. Can you imagine just a little black girl walking around like sumimasen, kirei desu. Okay, so first, why I chose not to study Japanese. When I first came to Japan, I was leaving directly from college. I had just spent four years studying every single day, except for summer vacations when I had to go to America to work to actually pay for said studies. When I came to Japan, I was exhausted. I didn't want to learn anything else. I felt like I had done my time in school and now your girl needed a break. Period! Because I didn't want to come here and learn something new. I just wanted to travel and see the world. Probably meet a few kirei Japanese guys or something. I don't know. We don't know what could happen over here. But studying Japanese was definitely at the bottom of my list, because when I was applying for the program, they said that I did not need to know how to speak Japanese because that was not a prerequisite for the JET program. So I'm like, if I don't gotta know, I ain't gonna know it. Sumimasen. Anyway, the next reason I chose not to study Japanese is because Japanese, to me, like in my opinion, so don't come for me, is like a mono language. I don't even know if that's a correct saying, but when I say that, I mean once I leave Japan, because I don't plan to live in Japan forever, so once I leave Japan, am I going to need Japanese ever again? You never know, really, but am I really gonna take up like a quarter of my brain space? Like, I have a big head, but my brain is like small. So am I gonna take up a quarter of my brain space studying a language that I'm not gonna use once I leave the country? I mean, if it was like a language like Spanish, where many countries speak Spanish, or French or something like that, that could be useful outside of Japan, then I would probably consider studying it. But honestly, I just thought it was important to know the main little words, and then once I could communicate with people around me just in the simplest format, then I would be fine. And I have been fine for 2 years and a couple months. However, I am learning Japanese involuntarily, and I want to talk about it. It's not a bad thing, because if I can do something without trying, that's amazing. Trust me. I wish I could eat and sleep and all of that without trying. So let's get into how I'm learning Japanese without literally trying. First, immersion. So living in Japan means that I am fully immersed in the language. Immersion is a technique that people actually use to teach foreign languages. So they give the kids full, probably Spanish text or full English text, and everything is taught in English, and that is how they get people to learn a language really quickly. For me, I can't say it was involuntarily because I chose to come to Japan, but I kind of just got immersed in the language, and then even though I wasn't studying to learn Japanese, there were still stuff that I picked up along the way. Like, I didn't even realize that I knew how to say Eigo wakaru, which means do you speak English? And if someone asks me Nihongo wakaru, then I can say Nihongo jouzu janai sumimasen, which is my Japanese is very bad, I'm sorry. I didn't even know that I was picking up these words. One time I said it to the 7-Eleven staff and she was like, sumimasen, eigo jouzu janai. And I'm like, oh my god, I actually used that phrase correctly. I don't even know where I heard it, but I knew exactly what it meant because I understood the context of the entire conversation. So immersion, nice way to learn Japanese. Just turn all your devices to Japanese and force everyone around you to speak in Japanese. Okay, number 2. Media. Books, music, everything like that, everything is in Japanese because I live in Japan. And of course, I'm gonna hear little songs and then I'm going to start humming along with them because that has always been how I learn. I remember this really weird song from high school that I used to help me to learn business.
Don't sing it, don't sing it, don't sing it, don't sing it, don't sing it.
You put your opening stocks and then you add purchases, you less return outwards, and you add carriage in, you minus closing stock from cost of goods sold, add it all together, get gross profit. So I can calculate gross profit just because I remember that song. So I know a lot of Japanese music, even though I don't even know who the singers are, but I'm always hearing the music around me, and sometimes my kids will suggest like, oh, Tomi-sensei, Tomi-sensei, please, 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 listen to this song, artist Jozu, and I'm like, okay, I will. And then I listen to the song and I don't know the words, but the beat is kind of getting me and I'm like, okay. And then I'm listening to the song again and again and I find myself singing to the words. I just learned Japanese without even realizing. Yeah. So if you want to learn Japanese, a good tip is to go ahead and use music. Listen to Japanese music or listen to any music of any foreign language that you want to learn. Trust me. We are all out here speaking Spanish, singing to Despacito. This is how we're doing it in Puerto Rico. I don't know the song. I just know Despacito. But that song is bomb. Y'all better listen. Mimicking, but not in like the bad way, although to admit I do it in the bad way. I said do but I do it in the bad way sometimes, just with this one teacher who we're like really close, and every time she said something I'll repeat it and she's like, oh, Tomi Nihongo Chozo. I'm like, no, I just repeated exactly what you said. And I think that's how I learned the word shaleotsu or oshale. So shaleotsu is like an old time word, and then the new word for it is oshale, because you know that language changes over time. Anyway, shaleotsu, oshale, they both mean fancy or well dressed. So I always hear the teacher saying shaleotsu, oshale, Tomi sensei, oshale, and I'm like, wait, what are they saying? But now I know that they're telling me that I'm dressed really well. I don't even try. It just kind of happens. But seriously, mimicking when other people speak is actually a really good way of learning the language, because you actually learn how to pronounce the words properly. Because when I just came to Japan, I couldn't say the word Fukuoka because English and Japanese pronunciations are different. So you want to be able to pronounce the word correctly, and then people will understand what you are saying. A short little scenario would be a time when I was trying to go to Costco in Hiroshima. I went to the train station and I was talking to the people at the train station, the train operators, and I was like,
hey, can you help me to find Costco? How do I go to Costco from here?
Hey, Costco, wakaranai. This means I don't know what is Costco. So I put in Costco in my translation app, and he doesn't know. I call my teacher and I'm like,
hey, I'm in Hiroshima and I'm trying to go to Costco. Can you just tell him what I'm saying? Because I know he knows where Costco is, because it's like a 5-minute bus ride from the train station.
My teacher talks to him and then I hear him say, hey, Costco, hi. I said Costco. Yeah, Those two things are different in Japanese. So if you don't know how to pronounce the words properly, no one will understand what you are saying. Also, pronunciation is very important because Japanese words are very, very, very similar. The word kawaii means cute, and the word kawaii means scary. And I walked up to a lady one day when I just came to Japan. She was holding her baby and it was cute. So I wanted to say kawaii. And imagine me walking up to the lady, kawaii. She's like, eh? I said, kawaii, because I'm confident. I know my words, kawaii. She said, kawaii. And I'm like, and she smiles and walks away. Luckily, Japanese people tend to be nice to foreigners and understanding that we don't really understand the language. So I told her that her baby was scary, but she knew what I meant, luckily. So mimicking, very good way of learning a language, learning how to pronounce the words properly. Yes, sir. Okay, on to point number 4. Practicing. That's it. Point number 5. No. Okay, so when I say practice, I practice, but not on purpose. You know what I mean? So I walk into the staff room and I'm like, ohayou gozaimasu, which is good morning. Or if I'm leaving, I'll say otsukare-sama deshita, which means thank you for what you have done today or something like that. I actually don't know what that word means. And yeah, I say these things without even realizing that I'm saying them again and again. So saying them now, my pronunciation is amazing. So I will walk up to like a Oba-chan, which is a very old person, and I'll say ohayou gozaimasu, o genki desu ka, which means good morning, are you okay? And then they'll say hi, genki desu. And then they go off in this Japanese rant. So I'm like, sumimasen, nihongo jouzu janai, wakaranai desu, which is my Japanese is bad, sorry, I don't understand. And they will look at me like, but you just spoke perfect Japanese. Yes, ma'am, I practice how to tell you that I don't understand what you are saying, sumimasen. But learning Japanese is all about practice. I don't know about the writing part because all I can write is my name and I recognize the kanji for my prefecture, but other than that, I don't know nothing. So I don't know about the writing part, but when it comes down to speaking Japanese, practice makes perfect. Point number 5. Language exchange. It's as simple as that actually, because now when I am in Japan, I am lucky enough to be able to speak to other Japanese speakers who want to learn English, and I don't technically want to learn Japanese, but I have no choice because every time they will say the same things to me and use the same words, and I don't know what these words mean. So I'm basically getting Japanese while giving them English. So we're hanging out, just having a good time, and then my friend will say something like,
Tomi-chan, o genki desu ka?
And I'm like, oh, genki desu. At first, I didn't know what this meant, but because they always ask me, are you okay, when they see me not speaking, because everyone knows I'm always the life of the party. So now I know that this means, are you okay? So it's just about language exchange. So even if you are living outside of Japan, you could try to get a Japanese pen pal or get a Japanese tutor. Language exchange, baby. So these are my tips, and this is also how I am learning Japanese without even trying to learn Japanese. No textbook, no studying, just those 5 things. Immersion, media, mimicking, practice, and language exchange. So hopefully this will help you guys out there to learn a language without using the textbook, because that is so outdated anyway, right? So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you learned something. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys. Mwah. Nihongo jouzu. Nihongo jouzu. Watashi no channel yokoso. Stop laughing. Saishoni. But do that. Because that has. Why am I weird? Like, share, and subscribe. Saishoni jikoso kai sasha check it up.